Welcome back, class. So we are starting our new chapter, which is actually about modulation. So in the earlier chapter, we have learned about what is modulation. Okay, what are the different advantages of the modulation? Okay, for example, reduction in antenna size, better transmission quality. Okay, and the transmission of a baseband low frequency signal to a band pass. Okay, high frequency channel. Okay, because of the limitation of the bandwidth of the channel. So there were the different advantages which we have learned in the earlier on. So now this is a complete chapter about the working of the modulation. Basically how we actually perform modulation, what are the different types of modulations, what are the advantages of the modulations, how we can implement the modulations. Okay, for example, if you want to implement a certain type, okay, for example amplitude modulation or frequency modulation, how we can actually implement in real time. Okay, so that is the focus of this complete chapter. So modulation basics. So modulation is basically, the simplest words, is the process of putting information onto a high frequency carrier. Okay, that you want to transmit a low frequency signal. Okay, so you will put that low frequency signal on a high frequency signal. Okay, so that you can go for the transmission of the signal as per the requirement of the channel. Okay, so this is the basic definition of the modulation. Okay, so in this case, so basically you are putting on a high frequency carrier. Okay, so basically the properties of the carrier, so you have a message signal, okay, and you have a carrier signal. Okay, so carrier signal is basically a high frequency signal. Okay, this is a low frequency signal. Typically we call this a message signal. Okay, so this is my carrier signal. So basically you are multiplying both of them and you will get a modulated signal. Okay, so by multiplying a message signal and a carrier signal, you will get a modulated signal. Okay, so the properties of this carrier signal, it will change with respect to the message signal, the input signal. Okay, so based on the change in the characteristics of the carrier signal, we can get different kind of modulations, okay, which we will look after a couple of slides. So this is the basic definition, the basic idea of the modulation. Okay, and so this is our modulated signal. Okay, so once we get a modulated signal, and now if you want to get your original signal from it, so what will we do? We will again multiply with the same carrier. Okay, we will again multiply with the same carrier, and if you multiply these two, this will give us only the message signal. How? This we will learn in this chapter. Okay, so this process is called modulation. Okay, and if you get a modulated signal and if you again multiply with a carrier to get your original signal, this is called demodulation. Okay, modulation is happening at the transmitter side, demodulation is happening at the receiver side. Okay, so this is the basic, like in the chapter 1 you have learned about the different communication blocks of the complete communication system. So at the transmitter side we actually have modulator that performs the modulation. At the receiver side we have demodulator that actually performs the demodulation. So details are coming. Okay, these are just the block level diagrams. Advantages, what are the reasons of doing modulations? Okay, so you know very well about this. So one of the new thing which we are going to learn is basically, one advantage is frequency division multiplexing, so FDM. So this is a technique which is actually widely used in the 5G system. Okay, frequency division multiplexing, not only in 5G system. Okay, a lot of communication applications, okay, basically are based on the frequency domain multiplexing. So basically this is to support the multiple transmission via single channel. Okay, what does this mean? This means is you have one channel. Okay, you have only one channel. Okay, you want to transmit multiple messages. Okay, you want to transmit multiple messages. Message 1, message 2, message 3 and message 4. Okay, you have only one channel. So now if you use only one carrier, okay, only one high frequency signal, what will happen? So if you multiply, for example, the carrier is 1 megahertz, for example. Okay, so if you multiply this low frequency signal with this carrier, and if you multiply this with the same carrier, so basically we will get interference in the channel. So to avoid this interference, what will we do? We will multiply this with the one carrier. We will multiply this with a different carrier. We will multiply this with a different carrier. We will multiply this with a different carrier. For example, this carrier frequency is 1 megahertz. This could be 10 megahertz. This could be 100 megahertz. This could be 400 megahertz, for example. Okay, so with the different carriers, we will get the different modulated signals. So we can transmit them in the same channel. So because they have different frequencies, so there will be no interference between them. So that is the basic concept of the frequency domain multiplexing. And this we can achieve using the modulation techniques. Okay. For example, this is one message, this is the other message. Okay. So if you modulate this with the frequency f1, for example 10 megahertz, and you modulate this with the frequency 100 megahertz, for example. Okay, so this will be your modulated signal at 10 megahertz. This will be your modulated signal at 100 megahertz. So you can see that we have a difference, the spacing between the frequencies. They are not overlapping. Okay, so if they are not overlapping, okay, it means we don't have interference. Okay, so that is the meaning. So for example, if you are modulating this with 10 megahertz and if you modulate this signal with, for example, 15 megahertz, so what will happen? This signal will be coming here. Okay, if this is 10, so this could be 15. So we will get the overlapping here. So basically we are having the interference, so that will be the loss of information. So that is the one advantage of the, another advantage of the modulation, frequency domain multiplexing. Antennas, you know very well, okay, the size of the antenna will be reduced with the modulation. Now what are the different types of modulations? So we can classify them in 4 categories. The first one is the analog. In the analog modulation, for the analog signal, basically the continuous time signals, we have amplitude modulation, we have frequency modulation, and we have phase modulation. Okay. For the digital signals, we call this pulse modulation. So basically the modulating signal is analog signal. Modulating signal is basically your message signal. Okay, so we have that is our analog. Okay, but the carrier is a digital signal. Okay, in analog modulation, your message signal or modulating signal is analog and your carrier is also analog. Okay, in pulse modulation, your modulated signal is analog and your carrier is pulse. Okay, for example, modulated signal is this analog signal, but the carrier is a discrete time pulse signal. So we'll have pulse modulation, amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation. Okay, what does this mean? So basically amplitude modulation is the amplitude of the carrier. It will be changing with respect to your message signal, with respect to your modulated signal. Okay, that is the amplitude modulation. If the frequency of the carrier is changing with respect to the message, that will be frequency modulation. If the phase of the carrier is changing, that will be phase modulation. Okay, similarly in pulse modulation, if the amplitude is changing, that will be the pulse amplitude modulation. If the frequency or the width is changing, it will be pulse width modulation. and if the position is changing, position of the pulse is changing, that will be the pulse position modulation. Similarly, we have digital to analog modulation. So basically the modulated signal is a digital. Okay, now the message signal is digital, but the carrier is analog. Okay, that is the digital to analog modulation. So we have amplitude shift keying, FSK and phase shift keying. Okay, so these are the different examples of the modulations. Digital modulations, we have both are the message signal is also pulse digital signal, and the carrier is also pulse digital signal. Okay, so we have pulse code modulation, delta modulation, and octave data modulation. So these are just the basic intro of the different kinds of the modulations. We will be actually putting more focus on in this chapter and in the coming chapter on these amplitude analog modulation. So that is the basically the focus of this chapter, and this chapter is putting only focus on the amplitude modulation. Next chapter is the frequency and phase modulation. Okay, so this whole chapter is about the amplitude modulation. So what is basically the amplitude modulation? Okay, usually we represent the carrier using this. So there is a carrier signal which have a frequency, carrier frequency, and a phase. So this is a general representation of a cosine signal. Okay, so if you change the amplitude of this carrier, that will produce the amplitude modulation. If you change the frequency of this carrier, it will produce the frequency modulation, modulated signal. And if you change the phase of this carrier with respect to the message signal, it will produce a phase modulated signal. So this is the basic characterization, basic classifications of the different kinds of the modulations, analog modulations. Okay, so what is the meaning of the amplitude modulation? Okay, so as I said earlier, we are putting focus on amplitude modulation. So let's see what is basic amplitude modulation. So as I said earlier, we have a message signal. We call this a modulated signal. Okay, sometimes we call this M of T or modulated signal, message signal, whatever you say. And we have a carrier signal which we are calling as S of T. So as I said earlier, we are basically multiplying them. We are just multiplying them, these two. Okay, just simple multiplier, and this multiplier will give us basically the modulated signal. Okay, this is our modulated signal. Okay, for example, if this is my modulating signal or message signal, and this is my carrier frequency, okay, carrier signal, okay, simple sine or cosine signal. Okay, now what will happen? So see here, as the amplitude of the message signal is changing, okay, so the amplitude of the carrier will also be changing. So we are getting positive here. So basically this is the amplitude, so the amplitude of the carrier will be changing according to that. So here the amplitude is lowering, so it will be going like here. Here the amplitude is very small, so the amplitude has been changed. Okay, so here, so like this was the fixed amplitude, so but here we are having the variation. Again we are getting high value, so we are going towards the high, lower, lower, high, very low value for a small larger range, lower value, lower value, lower value. Okay, so basically the amplitude of the carrier is changing with respect to the message signal. So this we will get after the multiplication, and this is the modulated signal. Okay, so if you look closer now, so basically this dotted line, okay, the envelope of this modulated signal is basically your message signal. So okay, so basically this dotted line, so this is, and we actually put a dotted line in terms of message on top, and we put on bottom, and in between them if we just plot, we will get our modulated signal. Okay, for example, if the amplitude of the modulated signal is 2 and minus 2, and if for example this is 10 and this is minus 10, okay, so the maximum which we can get here, it will be 10 plus 2, 12, and minimum which we can get here will be 10 minus 2, 8. Okay, or like minus 10 and minus 2, sorry, minus 10 and minus 2, it will be minus 12. Okay, so that will be the maximum minimum which we can get here. So this is the basic modulation. And if we talk about the bandwidth of the AM modulated signal, it will be 2B. For example, if the message signal, modulated signal bandwidth is 2 kilohertz, so then the bandwidth of this modulated signal, it will be 2 times of that, 4 kilohertz. Okay, so this way we can calculate the bandwidth of the modulated signal. Okay, this is another interpretation, that is the same thing, bandwidth. Some application, just go through them. What are the different applications of the amplitude modulation? Okay. Again, application we will learn this in the live session. Okay, for the actual radio. Frequency modulation is, okay, this is just an overview. Again, we actually have a voltage control oscillator here, which is actually changing the frequency. The input is message signal. You have a carrier frequency. Now the carrier signal frequency will be changing according to the amplitude. For example, here you are getting positive 1, so you are getting one amplitude, one frequency. Here the amplitude is changing, you are getting a different frequency. Okay, let me raise this. So if you focus here, you are getting different frequency. In this region, you are getting high frequency. Again, you are getting a low frequency, and again you are getting more low frequency. So as the amplitude of the modulating signal is changing, okay, the frequency of the carrier signal will be changing, and that will give us a frequency modulation. Okay, so the bandwidth of the frequency modulation is basically 2 times 1 plus B times B. B is the bandwidth of the message signal. Okay, beta is called the modulation index. Okay, B or beta or mu, okay, these are called modulation index. Okay, we will see this later on. So bandwidth of the frequency modulation will be basically 2 times 1 plus B times B. So we will see the details about the applications of this also in the live session. Okay, so this is just an overview. We will see the relevant examples and more mathematical derivations in the live session. Thank you very much for your time.